This is One Fat Boy, and here are my NBA game predictions for March 7th of 2022. Tonight there's 8 games. I'll be going over the spreads and over-unders for each of them. For the Hawks at the Pistons, be leaning towards the Hawks -8 and winning the game overall. So, if you believe that Trae Young and Clint Capella are going to have good games, like Trae Young's able to score a lot and get his team involved, and Capella's able to defend inside and rebound, Detroit's going to have a hard time just getting in a rhythm for offense, trying to defend Atlanta. So overall, Atlanta should be better on both ends than Detroit. But with John Collins still being out, I think this will be a higher scoring game, as that's an integral part of the defense for Atlanta, which don't think Detroit's defense will be really slowing down Atlanta's offense. And then I think Detroit will still be able to play offense overall. They just have to get their outside shooting going. So if they can get that going, this should go over. I think Atlanta will, in general, be able to score no problem. So that's why I think they're going to win. Doesn't matter if they're playing at Detroit. Atlanta is fighting for a playoff spot and want to keep themselves in the playoffs. So they should be fighting real hard to win this in the first half, or at least just win the game in general. For the Bulls at the 76ers, going to Philadelphia -6.5. So with Harden being back, I think it's going to be really tough to slow down Harden and Embiid, and with the way that Maxi's been playing, if Harris plays consistently, like just grabs rebounds and just makes his open shots, like not many teams can really beat the 76ers. And even though the Bulls, like they're towards the top of the Eastern Conference, they're going to have a tough time dealing with the 76ers. Like, in order for the Bulls to win, they have to be on fire all night and just hope that they annoy Embiid, annoy Harden enough, and that the Sixers don't get hot from three. So as long as the Sixers play how they should and how they have been playing, Sixers should win no problem. It should be a high-scoring game, as the Bulls, doesn't matter who they're playing against, they're always going to get their scoring numbers. And if I think the Sixers are going to win, that means they have to outscore the Bulls, who I think is going to be fine offensively. So it should be a high-scoring game. For the Rockets at Miami, going with Miami -15. So with Houston playing last night, I think that gives an advantage for Miami winning, just in general. I think 15, pretty big spread. And normally, if I see 15, I usually just take the underdog plus 15, as they are professional basketball teams. You should be able to keep within 15. But even though they played last night and they have to travel to Miami, this gives big advantage towards Miami. So I think Miami should be able to blow out the Rockets, as they can just like slow down the wings and just make it really tough for Houston to score overall. Like, I don't think the Rockets' defense is really going to affect how Miami plays their offense, but I really think Miami's defense is going to affect the Rockets. So that's why I'll be leaning towards under 229.5, or just an under in general, because I think Miami, they'll score like as normal, but they're not a high-scoring team. But Houston, they give up a lot of points, but I really think Miami is really going to hold down the Rockets like much lower than what we usually see. So hence why I'm leaning towards an under. For Portland at Minnesota, this is also another instance of like that, the 15-point spread, but Minnesota has been able to put away like these bottom tier teams by like 20 points. So I think leaning towards Minnesota -15.5 is actually reasonable in this case, because Portland, no one's really like healthy for Portland. I mean, the best player right now is Simons, and then bunch of randoms, I would say. But I think Minnesota just has better talent, and I'm sure they can figure out a way to slow down Simons. And if they can do that, like, Timberwolves should win no problem. And also, they put up a lot of points. They'll also give a lot of points, but Minnesota just puts up a lot of points. So if it's fourth quarter, like 10 points, like I think their second unit is going to be better than Portland. Their starting unit is better than Portland's starting unit. It's like there's a lot of ticks in the winning checkbox that Minnesota is able to check off. So hence why I'm leaning towards Minnesota -15.5 and over 236.5, as Minnesota will just pump up a lot of points. For the Jazz at the Mavericks, be leaning towards Dallas -1.5, but that's if everyone's playing. Like, if Luka is playing, I expect that the Mavericks to win. If Brunson is playing too, I expect them just have like extra like offense if he's there. But if Luka is out, then just lean towards the Jazz. Like that's easy win. Like Jazz should win that no problem. But if Luka is playing, it should be a close game. I'd lean towards the Mavericks, but overall, probably wouldn't bet on the spread as Jazz towards the top of the Western Conference and Mavericks have been playing very well as of 2022. So if I were to lean towards a team, it would be Dallas just because their defense is better and it takes a whole team to stop Luka and the way that Mavericks have been playing this smaller 5-ball lineup. It's been working. I will be leaning towards under 221.5 as Mavericks defense is really good, and if they do win, it's going to be on the back of their defense. Because if it does turn to a shootout, I think the Jazz do pull away with that. And I think the Jazz can play some defense. I like more interior defense rather than outside defense. So hence why I lean towards an under in this game rather than like an over. For the Lakers at the Spurs, if you want with the Spurs minus 2.5, if you expect LeBron to have like a 40-point plus game, then lean towards the Lakers win. But team basketball wise, I think the Spurs should be able to win if they just play as a team, or up and down as long as they just like play at a higher pace and just get like easy baskets. That means the Lakers have to play at a higher pace. They are older, so that means they only have like 2 good quarters. And if the Spurs can just play like the 3.5 and just make sure those 3.5 are way better than like the Lakers' 2 best quarters, the Spurs should win this. If they do win it, it will be on the back of their scoring, so hence why I have to lean towards it over. And over on FanDuel was 232, so that's one we'll lean towards, as the Lakers' defense, not the greatest. Same with the Spurs, but I think the Spurs with the faster pace and younger players, that gives them an advantage. For Golden State at Denver, so even with pretty much a lot of people being out for Golden State, it's just going to be their young players playing. But Denver played last night in an overtime game, so I'll have to lean towards Golden State plus 9. Even though I think Denver's going to win this one, or they at least should. But knowing it's the second night of the back-to-back, at least they didn't have to travel. But that would require and also it's an overtime game, so a lot of energy spent. And Golden State with the young players should be able to get up and down, keep up with Denver, maybe out hustle and outrun them. That'll keep them in the game. But Denver should be able to clutch out at the end, especially if Jokic has a similar night to what he did last night. He'll be able to clutch it. Since I'll be going with an over for this game, over 220.5, as is the young Warriors, so they're going to be more faster paced, not going to be as disciplined as when Draymond, Thompson, and Curry are playing. As when they play, it's more defensive, a little slower, but with the young players, usually go faster, more mistakes, but more fast break opportunities, so hence I'll be going with an over. For the Knicks at the Kings, we'll go with the Knicks plus 3.5. Even though they played last night, it wasn't really close game, and the way that the Kings have been playing, kind of sporadic. Still not they are improved, but they lose those close games. Even though the Knicks have been losing close games, and if it is a close game, I think it'll just come down to 2 teams trying to fight over who's going to lose it. But the way that Knicks have been playing, they've been keeping it close against good teams, being good teams. So hence I'll lean towards the Knicks plus 3.5, and I will be going over 229.5 because the Knicks offense, that's what's been helping them win games, is their offense. They can play defense, but their offense, just being able to score more points, means that they can allow a few more mistakes on defense. Because before, for them to win, they can only give up 95 points, but now they can give up 108 because they have the ability to score more than 108 points now. So hence I'll be leaning towards that over 229.5 because Kings defense isn't great, and Kings are always high-scoring games, so hence I'm leaning towards an over, and Knicks should probably pull out with the win, if not, keep it close. Thank you for watching. As always, bet responsibly, enjoy watching sports, and once again, thanks for watching.